Battles were fought not just with weapons of mass destruction, but also with weapons of secret information. The Cold War was a time when the USA and the USSR were constantly trying to outmaneuver each other. Espionage was at an all-time high. Secret agents infiltrated embassies. Spies gathered intelligence, and double agents spread misinformation. There are so many stories of espionage that have been kept secret for so long, they've taken on a mythical quality. In this video, we're going to be exploring some of these secret stories of the Cold War and looking at how one of these stories could have changed the course of history. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button for more great videos. And let's jump into it! Kim Philby was one of the most high-profile spies of the Cold War era. He was a British intelligence officer who spied for the Soviet Union. He was known as the third man factor in BI. He provided the Soviets with sensitive information about Western intelligence operations. This included details about the upcoming invasion of Afghanistan. He even helped arrange for the escape of several high-profile Soviet spies from the West. His actions are believed to have saved many lives, and he was awarded the Order of Lenin by the Soviet Union. But his legacy is a controversial one. Some believe that he was a traitor who put his own interests above those of his country. Others argue that he was a hero who risked his life to help the Soviet Union. The Cold War was a time of heightened tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. Espionage was rampant, with both sides trying to gain an advantage over the other. One way that they did this was by planting spies in each other's embassies. These spies would gather intelligence on the other side's activities and then pass it back to their government. However, sometimes these spies would be caught, and then they had to come up with creative ways to escape. In one case, a CIA agent named Francis Gary Powers was flying a U-2 spy plane over the Soviet Union when his plane was shot down. He was then imprisoned in the USSR for 8 years before being released in a famous spy swap. Another CIA officer, Richard Efheimer, was stationed in East Germany when he was arrested by the Stasi, the East German secret police. They accused him of spying for the CIA and sentenced him to death. He was able to avoid execution by claiming that he had information about a secret CIA base in Italy. The Soviets believed him, and he was able to secure a release. One of the most famous spy exchanges of the Cold War took place in 1962. This was the Cuban Missile Crisis. The United States and the Soviet Union were on the brink of nuclear war. The US had placed missiles in Italy and Turkey, which the Soviets saw as a threat. They responded by placing missiles in Cuba, which was much closer to the United States. This was seen as a major escalation of the Cold War, and it raised the possibility of a nuclear exchange. However, the two sides were able to negotiate a solution. The US agreed to remove its missiles from Turkey, and the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba. Espionage played a key role in the shaping of history during the Cold War. It was a time when the United States and the Soviet Union were in a race to acquire sensitive information about each other. This included military secrets, scientific advancements, and political intelligence. The US and the USSR each had their own intelligence agencies, which were responsible for gathering this information. The CIA was created by the United States in 1947, and the KGB was created by the Soviet Union 1953. These agencies were highly secretive, and their activities were often conducted in the shadows. They employed spies, informants, and agents to gather intelligence on the other side. The information that was gathered was often used to inform government policy and decision-making. For example, the US wanted to know about the Soviet Union's nuclear capabilities, while the USSR wanted to know about the US's plans for its new defense system. One of the most famous examples of espionage during the Cold War was the case of Klaus Fuchs. He was a German physicist who worked on the Manhattan Project, the US effort to develop the first atomic bomb. He was later revealed to be a Soviet spy who had passed on sensitive information to the USSR. His case remains one of the most significant examples of espionage during the Cold War, and it highlights the lengths to which the two superpowers went to gain an advantage over each other. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more content. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.